Hare Krishna. Once again, I thank all of you for staying connected with us through our YouTube channel and being a part of Rise and Shine family. Today, we are going to have a concluding discussion on chapter 7 of Bhagavad Gita. The name of the chapter is Knowledge of the Absolute, and we will cover from shloka 26 to 30. We will be covering three main topics. First, how God is aware of everything, that is past, present and future. The second question we'll discuss is why are we born into this world? The principle of duality, that is desire and hate. Then the third thing we'll be discussing is that the question that people normally ask, why do we need to practice spirituality in our life? What is the necessity? Why do you people spend so much time and energy for it? So we'll be covering that in brief. And then finally we'll have a concluding discussion on the summary of chapter 7. So let's begin with shloka 26. You may all please refer Bhagavad Gita. Vedaham samatitani vartamanani charjuna bhavishyani cha bhutani mam tu vedana kasyana. So translation by Srila Prabhupada. O Arjuna, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, I know everything that has happened in the past, all that is happening in the present, and all things that are yet to come. I also know all living entities, but me no one knows. So here one of the feature or the nature of the absolute truth or the Supreme Personality of Godhead have been discussed, that he is a Trikala Darshi. So when we use the term Trikala Darshi, that means he is aware of everything. He is aware of the past, he is aware of the present, he is aware of the future. But we as the living entities, we may know something about present, we may know something about future, and we may know something about past, but we don't know everything. Our domain of knowledge is very limited. So the question that comes up is how God is aware of everything. So let's discuss that question briefly. So to understand the answer to this question, we first need to understand the concept of consciousness. We know that we all have a consciousness within our body, but that consciousness has a limited domain. And because of the presence of the consciousness, we are aware of some functionality of our body, just because the consciousness is present. But since our consciousness is limited, we cannot know everything that's going on within this world. This is the nature of our limited consciousness. Now when we look at the consciousness of God, then his consciousness is unlimited. His consciousness pervades in every atom, in every object of this world. He knows everything that's taking place either in this world or anything that's taking place beyond this world. So in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, Sarvasya chaham hriday sannivisto. That means I am sitting in everyone's heart as Paramatma. So he knows everything that's going on within our mind at each and every fraction of the second. He is aware of everything. We can hide anything from the people of this world, but we cannot hide anything from God, because he is all pervasive. He exists everywhere. This is one of the feature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And through that feature, he has a capability to know everything. And it's not that he only knows everything. He can remember everything. He can remember the past, he can remember the present, he can remember the future. That's the capability that God has. But we have limited capability. That's why we do not know everything that has happened with us in the previous lives. So because he exists everywhere, he is not dependent on the knowledge from anyone. He is independent in himself. So as soon as a person is not dependent on anyone, that person becomes independent. and God is independent as well by nature. But we, the living entities, when we live within this world, we have some dependencies. Without dependencies, we cannot live in this world. So the first question that we talked about is the how God knows everything. So the answer is God knows everything because His consciousness pervades everywhere. We know just something because our consciousness exists somewhere. So the living entity or the human being can never compete with God. Often people say, we all can become God by certain practices, but that's not correct. We can never become God because our consciousness will always remain limited. God has unlimited consciousness. So the second question, why are we born into this material world? This we will cover from Shloka 27 of Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says, Ichha dvesha samuthena dvanda mohena bharata sarvabhutani sammoha sarge yanti parantapa. Translation: Ocean of Bharata, O conqueror of the foe, all living entities are born into delusion, bewildered by dualities arising from desire and hate. So our question was, why are we born into this material world? Lord Krishna has given us free will. Through free will, we all have a capacity to choose desire and hate. It's called as principle of duality. So because we hated Krishna in the spiritual world, Krishna sent us to this material world. He created this material world specifically for us because we originally hated from Krishna there in the spiritual world. Okay, fine, we hated. Why we hated? Because we desired to enjoy separately from Krishna. That is why we are being thrown into this material world. So our free will is there, and we exercised our free will in a wrong direction, and because of that we all came into the contact of this material world. So Ichha and Dvesh. So as soon as we come into the contact of this material world, there are two things that we all are always engrossed with. One is the desire, another is hate. Or in other words, the liking for something and the dislike for something. And because of that desire and hate, the principle of duality comes into the existence. Principle of duality means we have this concept of happiness, good and bad, woman and man, respect and disrespect. All these are the concept of duality. And when we come into the concept of these dualities, we basically get into the illusion. And when we come into the illusion, the outcome is that we start taking everything into consideration on the principle of I exist and this is mine. The entire life is revolving around I and mine. Because I exist, it is meant for my enjoyment. How I can give myself more and more enjoyment. What things I should accept in my life that will give me more happiness. What things I should reject in my life that basically troubles me more. That's the principle of duality. And because of that principle of duality, we become deluded with the concept of, this is my house, this is my family, this is my job, this is my education, I studied so hard. Like this, we all start, making different benchmark of comparison between right and wrong. So why are we born into this world? Because we have a free will, and we exercised our free will in a wrong manner, and because of that God created this material world. It's like a prison house. The government has to make the prison house so that wrongdoers can be punished. Government doesn't want to do it, but they are forced to do it. So when we come in this world, we get pampered with this desire and hate. We like someone, and we hate someone. We like this thing, we hate this thing. We like to enjoy winters, but we do not want to enjoy summer. It's so much hot in Delhi now. So this answers the second question. Let's move on to the shloka 28. Yesha tvantagata papam janana punya karmana tve dvanda moha nirmukta bhajante mam dradavrata. Translation: persons who have acted piously in previous lives and in this life, and whose sinful actions are completely eradicated, are freed from the dualities of delusion, and they engage themselves in my service with determination. So in the previous shloka, we discussed about the principle of duality. In this shloka, now Krishna is talking about the principle, how can we get rid of this duality. So we all have a past life and we have now present life. We all have been performing different actions from the previous life. In the present life also, we are continuously performing actions. And all those actions can be categorized into different parts. Some actions are sinful actions, some actions are pious actions or good deeds that we perform. And some actions can be devotional actions. And some actions that we perform are purely in line with our religious scriptures. So Krishna is telling that, okay, if we act piously and we do not commit sinful activities, then we become eligible to basically practice the path of devotional service with steady determination. So here Krishna is using a very important word, that's dradavrata. That means practicing the path of spiritual life with a strong determination. Determination is essential. Otherwise, what happens? Often we see that devotees are practicing spiritual life, but they have a graph in their spiritual journey. Sometimes they are chanting 1 round, sometimes they are chanting 4 rounds, sometimes they are chanting 8 rounds, and maybe nothing. So the graph is running up and down, up and down, up and down, because the determination is not strong enough. So then what needs to be done? So we need to make our determination strong. For that we need to associate with devotees, we need to start practicing the spiritual life, and then gradually our whatever balance we have for the anarthas, that will start getting evaporated. And then we will come to the platform of conviction. And then the real spiritual life will begin once we are convinced. And in fact, this principle of determination is applicable in every sphere of life. If you want to be a good businessman, then we have to be determined, because there will be so much complexities or so much challenges that will keep on coming in the journey of our life. But if we are not determined, then we will simply fall down and we will give up. So determination has its role to play in every sphere of life. So same way, the determination has a role to play in our devotional journey as well. And the real Krishna consciousness begins when we are determined in whatever we practice. So this is the 7.28. Now let's look at 7.29. Intelligent persons who are endeavoring for liberation from old age and death take refuge in me in devotional service. They are actually Brahman because they entirely know everything about transcendental activities. We talked about determination, but then again people normally ask, why do I need to know spirituality? What is the need to know about God? We are so much busy in our day-to-day life. We don't think so it's really required. Then the answer that Krishna is giving here is Jara Marana Mokshaya. In this material world, we have this concept of birth and death, birth and death. So there is a cycle of birth and death that continuously keeps on rolling ourselves from one life to another life, from one life to another life. And we have to get out of that repetition. And in order to get out of that repetition, we have to actually understand spirituality. If we will not understand spirituality, we will not have an option to get rid of this cycle. Practically, we all know that this material world is full of sufferings. At every stage, the suffering comes on our way in some form or other. So what does this spirituality do? The spirituality helps us to get rid of these sufferings from our life, because we are not meant to suffer ultimately. We are meant to have an internal relationship with Krishna, and that relationship is always blissful. That relationship is always happy and joyful. We have to experience that happiness, we have to experience that joy. And for that we have to take up to the path of devotional service. And the intelligent people will actually take up that path, and then they will progress and their life will become perfect. So the answer to the third question is quite simple, that we need to practice the path of spirituality so that we get out of this repetition of birth and death. Because ultimately taking birth and dying and then passing through various difficult stages within this life is not easy. It is full of sufferings. Any sane and intelligent person will easily be able to evaluate those sufferings, and he will consciously make a plan of how to get rid of those sufferings. That is why we have this process of devotional service. So devotees take refuge in God, and then they make their life perfect. And then what happens finally? That comes in Shloka 30. Translation: those in full consciousness of me, who knows me the Supreme Lord to be the governing principle of the material manifestation of the demigods and of all methods of sacrifice, can understand and know me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, at the time of death. In this shloka, one word that Krishna has used is very important: prayana kalena. That means finally at the time of death, we will be able to remember Krishna, because that's how we have prepared ourselves throughout the life. That's important. We have to prepare ourselves in a manner that we get rid of this material body. We get rid of this material bondage. So the central principle of this shloka 30 is always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. We all have to ultimately come to the platform of remembering Krishna, so that at the time of death, in spite of our difficult physical situation, we are in a state to remember Krishna. So life is a preparation, death is an examination. Again, preparation is not one day affair. We have to work hard, and that preparation should happen whenever we get to know about this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. If we do not understand God, if we do not understand Brahman, then the life has no meaning, it has no value, it has no existence. That is why Krishna wants us to know about Him. And that's the name of the very chapter that we have discussed, is knowledge of the Absolute. We have to know about God. Krishna wants us to know about Him. And in order to enable us to know about Him, Krishna has mentioned the different principles in this chapter. Let's quickly summarize them. We talked about how Krishna is source of everything. He gave example of Rasoham Apsu Kaunteya. That means I am the taste in the water. Then Krishna talked about the principle that 4 kinds of people will never come to Him, and the 4 kinds of people will take shelter of Him. Then we now discussed about Dridavita today. Dridavita means practicing with determination, the path of spiritual journey. Determination has a significant role to play on the path of spirituality. For that we have to come in the contact of devotees who are determined in their practice of Krishna consciousness. And the last principle that we discussed is what is the final outcome of practicing spirituality. the final outcome is that finally we get rid of this cycle of birth and death. So with this note, the chapter 7 is completed today. We'll continue with chapter 8 in the next series, and please stay connected. Please subscribe to our channel. We will have a lot of interesting video coming up in future. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. जगत गुरु शिला प्रभुपाद की जय, श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की जय.